Hi guys, welcome back to Irene Tarot Card. I'm Ren or Irene. I hope everyone's had a great week, great weekend. I've had a bit of a crazy week. I had a specialist appointment this week and quite a few things to do. So I was going to work on a small scale. I think I mentioned that I was going to do some woods. Instead, I ended up working on this piece for a couple reasons. So a girlfriend of mine ended up picking up a commission over the weekend, and we spoke about going to a local market and setting up a stall together in coming weeks. So I wanted to work on something small over the next few weeks because I don't really have a lot of like the smaller scale paintings that I've completed. Usually I work on quite a large scale. So I thought I might try and get 2, 3, 4 more smaller scale ones done before I commit to that market stall, and just take a few larger pieces with me and just see how that goes. Some pieces that I probably wouldn't display at a restaurant or in a gallery. So it was just going to be a quick one this week because I had a lot on. It worked out really well. I could just spend a half an hour here, an hour there. As you'll see, the first 3 layers I spent hardly any time on at all whatsoever, which worked out really well for me. But yeah, so I started this by painting a very, very quick and not precise in any way, shape or form underpainting. Another form of painting that I did this week was out at the Altona house, which is for sale. I helped prime and paint some walls with Jay. There's still a lot of work to do though. There's still some piping work and random things to do. A lot of trees have been chopped down. There's been a lot done, but it's going to be at least another month until it's on the market. So I spent the day there with him, and we had lunch from my all-time favourite burger places between 2 buns in Altona. I wish we had one in Geelong. They have the best burgers. And yeah, just spent the day helping out a little bit. Don't close my house again. Because it scares me and I feel like I'm going to fall. Did you only give me one? That's alright, I bought a bunch home. Spicy. Oh, it's not Max spicy. The spicy. The spicy. Best gourmet burgers ever. Okay, look at yours. Look at that. Best burger ever.
Oh, there's one in Hoppers Crossing.
Oh wow.
I thought there was one in Geelong.
I'll put the music back on. I also rescued 3 gnomes from there that were dug up when all the trees were dug up, one of which was a football gnome of the Bulldogs, which Jay barracks for. I'm a cat supporter, so I couldn't leave the gnome as was. I mean, it was pretty badly damaged, all the paintwork and everything on it anyway, so it needed a repaint. But yeah, I thought I'd give him a bit of a makeover for something to do one afternoon. I have the best find from Jay's place. 3 little gnome babies. I love my gnomes. I've got gnomes literally everywhere in the garden. Like everywhere. So these guys will fit in just fine. But they need a little bit of a makeover. So I'm going to give them a really good scrub, and then they need a new paint job. That middle one is an Aussie Rules football gnome, which was a Bulldogs gnome, and we're cat supporters here, go Geelong. So we're going to have to change his little costume, but I was thinking of turning that into a little mushroom and giving him like a cute little outfit. But first things first, we've got to get them clean. Got a bunch of old acrylic tubes that I can use on them, some disposable palettes, some cheap brushes. We'll see if we can fix them up a little bit. Little football gnome is now holding a little mushroom, and it's a girl gnome with long brown locks and nice high heel shoes on. Her dress even has a train, and all of them look nice and spiffy. Come have a look at the gnomes, honey. Jazzy.
Oh my god, what did you do to my nut? No!
Yeah, Jay was not very impressed with the outcome of his bulldog gnome, but well. And next I laid in some of the clouds in this piece. It was just a little bit on the horizon. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I knew that most of it would be covered by trees anyway, so I just laid some of that in. Also on that day, Jazz and I visited a local pet shop. We love looking at all the pets there. There's usually cats there. There wasn't this time, unfortunately. But yeah, we needed to pick up a few things. I needed some spot-on treatment for fleas and worms, even though Kimber hasn't had fleas since the day I got her. The day I got her, she was as big as my palm. She was a rescue, and she was covered in fleas and really, really skinny and unwell. And yeah, within a week she was double her weight and looking fantastic, and hasn't had fleas since. But I still put the spot-on treatment on them, even though they don't go outside except if I'm out there. And yeah, so we had to drop in there and get a few things. A harness for Cindy, which you'll see later in the video, us trying it out. Yard matches. All right. Is it for... Alright, I'm going to ask where the shampoo is and get some spot-on treatment. Then once we had everything, I needed to pick up some more shampoo. There's a shampoo I absolutely love. They end up smelling so nice when you use this shampoo. So it was pamper time for the kitty cats, and Kimber's used to being bathed, but Cindy had never had a bath before, but she did really good actually. I let Jazz bath her, and yeah, it went really well. Oh, it's all right. It's all right, yes, it's okay. It's all right. Oh. Are you ready? Hang on. We've got to get all this water off your tummy. We've got to get all this water off your tummy. You did so good. You did so good, yes. You always do good, don't you? You always do good, yes. That's right. Get all this. All right, kitty. How are you wrapped up in this? How are you wrapped up in this?
I think she's okay with it.
Yeah. She's fine. See, it's nice. It's nice.
Nice and warm.
And then the following day I filled in the rest of the clouds in this piece and obviously in the reflection. Didn't fuss, didn't spend too much time. Like I said, the first 3 layers were really quick. Just laid in the cloud and added some tones to it, and that was about it. And then that afternoon, Jazz and I had a very exciting tattoo appointment. So Jazz has expressed to me before that she'd like to get a few tattoos in future, nothing like major all over her arms or anything, but just a little one here or there. I've got a couple tattoos, well, had 2 tattoos before this day. Just a little rose and an om, which is a backwards 3. I've got a thing with 3s and I won't go into it because we'll be here all day. But yeah, the number 3 is very significant for me. And Jazz said to me a little while back that when I pass, she would probably get a tattoo, something to do with me or symbolizing me. And I said to her, that's a bit morbid. Why not get a tattoo while I'm alive? We could get like a matching tattoo, something that means a lot to you, means a lot to me. And then one day, if I pass, you'll have that to remember me by. So we agreed that would be a great idea. We went back and forwards on what we should get. And in the end, we ended up getting 3 symbols, meaning love you forever. And it's just the letters written over one another. So it just looks like a symbol in the end. And then lilacs are my favourite smelling flower in the whole wide world. In Hungary, they're a huge thing. Even here, Mum has a couple trees in her front yard and they always flower on Jasmine's birthday. So she loves lilacs, I love lilacs. So we got 3 lilacs up in one corner of the symbols and 3 lilacs open down in the bottom corner of the symbols. So that's 3 symbols and 3, which is 3 times 3, 9. Super significant. But yeah, so we went and yeah, now we've got matching tattoos. Just that back towards the top, that is
No, you can't.
Oh, you're just copying line for line.
Yeah.
Like there's no creativity, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what we are. It's a medium that you can't know in a lifetime. Like, there's always something different.
Tattoos. Jazz was an absolute champion. She didn't even flinch. She was so good. I wasn't sure how she'd go. I mean, I know, you know, she's pretty good with pain, but you never know. Some people don't react really well to getting tattoos. But no, she was great. Had no issue whatsoever. So yeah, now we got matching tattoos that we love, and Now she won't have to get one when I pass away one day. Then the following day, I finally laid in the horizon in this piece and the trees I worked on later on that day. So that kind of brought the painting together and made it look like a little bit more of a put together painting, not just one that I haven't spent much time on as it showed. On that afternoon, we took Cindy outside for the first time in her new harness to check out the backyard a little bit, which she absolutely loved.
Oh, here she is.
Okay.
Oh, what is that? You're on the grass for the first time ever.
She's so unsure. She's like, what?
You're on the grass.
Send the photo from Max. You like that?
Cinnamon, Cinnamon. Hello, hello. I then had a coffee catch up with a fellow Crohns sufferer that I met in hospital. Then I had to go see my specialist Damien. Every 6 months either way, even when everything's fine, I have to see him to get approval from Canberra for a script for Stelara, which is the immune suppressant that I'm on for my Crohn's. So a bit of a Crohn's update. My bloods are actually looking really good. The liver's back to normal. My kidneys are back to normal at the moment. So I'm absorbing everything really well, which is fantastic news. I lost a little bit of blood recently, and it can happen with Crohn's, but because of that I need to go in for a scope. I was due for one anyway, so yeah, it's fine, but obviously I'm not looking forward to that, so that'll be coming up in the next few weeks. But otherwise everything's looking pretty good, and yeah, got my script for the next 6 months of immune suppressants, so that's all done. And then for a dinner, we absolutely love Asian broths. I think I've mentioned that before. I threw together one of our all-time favorites, Tom Yum Kha. It's a bit like Tom Yum, except it's got a little bit of coconut milk, just a little bit in it. I don't make it as sour as Tom Yum, but I do add lime. And if you don't have kaffir lime leaves, which I didn't have in the house, so I just put lime zest instead. And also I couldn't get any lemongrass from the local supermarket I go to, and I didn't really want to go out to the Asian supermarket, so left that out. But otherwise it's a super easy broth to throw together. You just throw everything in the pot, let it boil away while you clean up your prawns, and chop whatever vegetables you want in there, and then throw that in the last 10 minutes while you're cooking up some noodles. Yeah, and it's just really tasty. We love Asian broth so much, and this is just one of the really easy ones.
So So first of all, you want to soak some sliced shiitake mushrooms in some boiling water. Then to get the broth going, you will need to finely dice an onion, some ginger, garlic, green chili I put into the actual broth, some coriander stalk, juice and zest of 1 lime, or just juice of 1 lime, and some kaffir lime leaves, and also a stalk of lemongrass if you can get your hands on some. For the garnish, I use bean sprouts, chili, and some coriander leaves. For the broth, I start everything in a little bit of sesame oil, but for the broth, I use a little bit of soy, some fish sauce, a little bit of coconut milk, and about 1.5 litres of chicken stock. So first I like to saute just the onion in a little bit of sesame oil and sunflower oil, and I get some hot water onto the noodles. Then into the onion I grate my garlic, my ginger, some of the lime zest first, some of the chili and the coriander stalk. So once your aromatics have coloured a bit, you'll want to add in your lime juice. At this stage I add the shiitake, some fish sauce, a little bit of soy sauce, small can of coconut milk, some good quality chicken stock, I also always add a little bit of salt just to bring out all the flavours. As it comes up to the boil, we'll reduce to a simmer and simmer for about ½ an hour, and then we'll add in the broccolini and the prawns and cook the noodles. Prepare a small bunch of the broccolini. I just chop it up, and then in the last 10 minutes that'll get thrown in with the raw prawns. And then you want to peel some raw prawns. I like to do 10 per person. I prepare a garnish plate with a wedge of lime, some extra fiery chilies, some leaves of coriander, and a couple little bowls of bean shoots to garnish as we go, as we eat. Noodles when the broccolini goes in, and then the prawns. And you want to pop in your prawns, bring it back up to the boil, and then pop in your broccolini. Pop in a couple serves of noodles, or however many people are eating. I usually put 1 extra serve. It takes a few minutes, but once they've been in for a couple minutes, just loosen them up. Give it a good stir so they don't stick together. These cook in 4 minutes, and I usually cut them a little bit with a knife in the pot, just so it's easier to eat with the chopsticks later. Then pop in your broccolini, give it a good stir, let it come back up to the boil again, and simmer for a couple minutes until you drain your noodles, and you're pretty much ready to serve. Serve it all up. I like to garnish it with some chilies, some coriander, and then some bean shoots. Nom nom nom. And enjoy. And then finally this morning I worked on the water a little bit, just to make it look a little bit more like water, not just the exact replica of the sky. And just added a few finishing touches to the tree. It didn't need a lot, and like I said, I wasn't going to work on this for hours and hours and hours because it is just for a market stall. But yeah, so I did that.
So next week I'll most likely be working on a small or medium scale piece again, since I've still got a few big ones to sell and I need to network a little bit more, branch out a little bit more in coming months, selling the larger pieces, because I'm not really trying to market myself. I'm not really getting out there and speaking to gallery owners in Melbourne and things like that at all. So that's something I really need to work on. I'd rather just paint and not try to sell them, but I mean, what's the point in creating a million pieces of art if you're not going to sell them? So that's something I need to work on. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on a few little ones. I've got a big one in mind that I'll do in coming weeks as well. But yeah, probably either a woods painting next week, or I will do that sky piece. But instead of doing quite a large one, I'll do a smaller scale of it. But then, I mean, I might change my mind, as it happens quite often. But we'll see what happens. But that's about it for me this week. I hope everyone has a great week, everyone has a great weekend. Thank you very much for joining me and watching this video. I hope you'll join me again next week, and have a great weekend. Bye guys.